What are you doing home so early? Demanded my mother as I entered the apartment, my bed still coming in quick caps. It was clear day at school, so there was early dismissal. I lied as she raised an eyebrow. Sarge harshly reprimanded. There's only so much I can do to keep you hidden. The more you act up, the more attention you draw yourself, the more difficult it'll be for both of us. Go on, fetch your homework. It's too late for you to send to school now, but I won't see that mind of yours go to waste. Then she returned to sink and continued the dishes. She did her head after cleaning the sweat off. I returned to the kitchen, opening my books on the table, positioning myself near a window where sunlight seemed inside. Placing my index finger in the webbing under my thumb, I flicked my nail against the skin, concentrating as I imagined putting the space in that region together. Trying it turned it into a swift novel in my mind. Then in my palm, a black orb formed, sort of absorbed the sunlight, growing slightly larger with each passing minute. In that time, our apartment was quite safe. For the tinkling of dishwasher as I flew into the book, practicing the mathematical equation on the pages for a quiz. The next day, the air was near still. The air conditioner turned off, either from being broken or the safe morning, as each week it seemed to alternate between the two, and occasionally I caught the sound of my mother humming an old tune, softly, one that I recognized but could not quite identify. I fading in and out of my perception as she moved. But then the three knocks on the door nearly said started me out of my seat. These were not neighborly knocks like those when seven smaller visitors to borrow salt, or even strange knocks than when our landlord came to collect the rent, and my mother sent me to raid the couch cushion for spare change. While she rummaged away at the last door. No, these were sharp, quick raps, staccato bursts, and I didn't wait for my mother to reach the door for opening it. "Police!" said the square-faced man at the front of the trio as he stepped into our kitchen uninvited. A younger man to his left and a middle-aged woman to his right. "We're looking for Miss Alchemy. Do you know her?" said speaking, said my mother, and forced a smile. May I ask why you have entered my kitchen and where I can offer you any refreshments?" Cold water over me as my breath caught in my throat, and the three of us squinted at my mother. Somehow they knew, somehow they had found me from spying on the academy, but how? That area must have told them, or trailed me back. I thought I had been careful, but I must have not been careful enough. I stared as the hit policeman looked around the kitchen, his eyes guiding over me as my mother's wrinkles deepened and the vein throbbed her temple, but still managed to smile. "Yes, you live alone then?" Cody said, and he pulled out a stack of papers, consulting. "You are Miss Alchemy, the service delivery nurse in Exabis, not for power, correct?" "Yes," my mother responded, washing the dishcloth off her hands. A weak form of nothing to notice. Nothing to notice indeed, came the reply. "If I recall not exact purpose for a snuffer. It's written here that you are measured to be one of the strongest snuffers. Not that that means much. Regardless, your unique service to the state I requested Miss Alchemy. You may come with us at once. We've been seen to in that your rent has been paid, that your crucial belongings will be transported along." "And if I choose not to come?" she inquired, leaning back against the counter. "I already served the state once, quite some time ago, miss," he said, as the woman behind him reached to the handcuffs on her belt. "Don't make me change this question to an order." "What?" I shouted, pounding my fist on the table. "You can't do that." A bead of sweat trickled down my mother's neck, and the muscle around her smile tightened. For a second, the lead officer's brow crossed, and he looked her over once more. Her nose, thinking his head, like "Miss, there was no time to mumble, and I suggest you show us the respect effectuating your words. Are you coming of your own violation?" "The hell she is now," I shouted, stretching out from the table as my mother's finger. It looked like it was about to burst. She shouted, her voice filled with shame, her face directed at the policeman before he said me. "Shut up and leave. You owe me that." I felt watching as a stab from the officer cut my mother square across the jaw. with the bag marbled head knocking her against the cabinet. "The state owes you nothing," he hissed, as the woman turned my mother around to fasten the handcuffs behind her back, forced my mother to face mine as it was flat against the cabinet. "Leave," she muttered, her eye pleading, her lips bleeding, as I found myself preparing to cast a force-punch chunk with knife I had done before. The guards officers together were escaping with her. Eyes began to water, and she whispered once more, as they started to pull her away, and I found myself paralyzed by her command. "No, leave." The police left the door open, and I watched them enter the squad car from the windows. I heard the police's final words as I memorized his face just before the car pulled away. "We found a far better use for you than many, Miss Alchemy, and I suggest you cooperate. You're still far enough from special to be considered regular. I do have a witness viewpoint of a